Reality blends with unexpected, inexplicable, and magic events in most short stories by Angela Carter. She makes use of fairy tales, popular beliefs, and Gothic elements, and writes original stories or rewrites traditional ones, subverting the conventional roles of the characters. The trend which she follows is sometimes known as magic realism. The point of view that she adopts is that of a feminist, but the deep message of the text, too easily misread as a simple form of feminism, seems to be an invitation to come to terms with those cold, black, sinful, irrational sides that prevent woman's growth. Just the first reading of the story allows the reader to realize that the content of the traditional version of the fairy tale has been completely turned upside down here, and perhaps young teenage Spice Girls fans in continuous rebellion would love it much more than hearing the story of a good, obedient, traditional girl. The passage is the writer's deconstruction and retelling of the world-famous tale Little Red Riding Hood, with a very different ending for the girl and the old grandmother. The story starts with a description of a northern country with cold, inclement weather and wild beasts in the forest, inhabited by hard people with cold hearts. These people lead a harsh and poor life. They believe in the devil and in witches. The description of the place may also be read symbolically as a picture of the 20th century society, the behavior of the people in a big metropolis, cold, unfriendly, self-protective, workaholic, lonely in their hearts, the suspect they have got about foreign and unknown people, the use of tools to defend themselves. The text is divided into two parts. The main topic is a fairy tale based on the story of Little Red Riding Hood, but here the girl is not eaten by the wolf nor saved by the hunter. On the contrary, she fights against the wolf, cuts off its right forepaw, puts it in a cloth, and then keeps on walking towards her grandmother's house to discover that her grandmother herself is a witch whom she met in the wood disguised as a wolf. The end of the story, after killing the granny, the girl does not go back home to her mother, but lives alone in her grandmother's house, has to be read as an allegory of the need for female resourcefulness and independence in a world full of weakness. The tone of the writer is ironical and critical in the first part of the passage, as she clearly cannot accept the people's belief in witches. Witches are the symbol for women who do not follow the traditional models and choose not to stay at home and make up a family, but to go out in the wild society, fight for a job, and live by themselves, strong and independent. The child's mother does not sound protective or worried. She simply utters orders in a rather hammering tone of voice. Go and visit, take her, do not leave the path, take your father's hunting knife, sure that her daughter knows perfectly well how to defend herself. The girl asserts herself in the fight with the wolf, and after the witch has been killed, lives alone in her grandmother's house instead of returning to her mother's, and is happy. There is no information on the girl's inner self, on her personality. Only the final phrase, she prospered, leads the reader to infer that she got off nicely, that her destiny has been rather lucky. The story was written during the late 60s or early 70s, when the need to fight for independence and equal rights was strongly and deeply felt by many women. However, the very deep message of the text seems to be an invitation to come to terms with those cold, sinful, irrational sides that prevent woman's growth still today.